like to use the body as a medium because I believe that the body carries the being, the body carries the emotion, the body carries the experience, and the body carries the movement. Most of my work really deals with local history. So I like to investigate local history in an attempt to try and offer some kind of a solution to some of our present day social ills, right? So for example, Grahamstown is a very small city, but the history that's within this town is very rich. So I always like to go out in the community and sort of find out about that history, find out about what people know, because most of the time, if you go to the archives and read the books, it's always the one-sided colonial history. It's always the one-sided colonial perspective of that history. So I would always go out and find out from the people their own stories and what is it that they were told by their grandfathers, so that experience that's passed down from generation to generation. And I like to work with that content and sort of imagine a different perspective of our history. My work is very site specific, right? If perhaps there's a story that happened in a particular place, I would go in that place and sort of look at the landscape. What is the landscape saying? How is the landscape like? And sort of imagine, how did the story happen in that particular place? And obviously, one of the ways I sort of do that is with the costume that I choose. So the costume would sort of tell you more about the work before the work. So those are the few elements that I like to use. My costume is very much African traditional costume, so that sort of like speaks to the Afrocentric part of it, and then the site where I will be at the particular time. Part of my work deals with a lot of untold stories, right? There's things that people don't usually talk about, either because of the traumas that it comes with it, either because people don't want to face the brutal honesty of it. So one of the works that I was doing was one of the least researched works. It was about Pete. That's the name that I got from the records. It's a young boy from the Eastern Cape that after 12 years, he went and rescued his mom as a slave. His mom was captured as a slave in Udnik by Colonel Kyla at the time. That was in 1890.
For children like Pete who have lost their fathers in wars, their mothers and sisters abducted to work as slaves. 0 as in loss of identity, culture and tradition. When he sleeps, he hears his mother's voice. When he sleeps, he dreams of saving his mother. In this house where his mother works as a slave, the walls are covered in snow.
Most of it was sort of creativity. So it was sort of loose in creativity, and then it sort of like grew into a production that then I later took to the National Arts Festival. I take the initiative to go out to the communities and say, we can make a difference here with what we have. We don't need money, but with what we have, we can sort of share it with other people, and then maybe from that they can create something out of it.